And this is where it all started, the Xtrabits pack, with these little bundles lying here. But welcome to Xtrabits, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sadie, the matriarch of this pack. And Sadie came into our lives as this tiny little fluffy fluff ball, that when we went to pick out a puppy because our other dog died, well, went over the Rainbow Bridge when she was 18 and a half years old. So it took us a while to decide, okay, we need to get another one because my dogs are important to me. They're part of my life. They give me those extra bits of love and energy and encouragement. So we had this little fluff ball we went to pick, and she picked us. She just came, the others were running around playing, being rambunctious, and she was sitting there observing everything. And then she got up, walked to me, sat basically on my foot, but close to my leg, looked up at me with those puppy eyes and says, okay, I pick you. You're my human. And so we became her humans. We named her in the car when we were driving back home. She was just Sadie. That is what we call her. And I would only later realize how much of a healing dog she was. I said she's an empathy dog, and someone said, no, you know what? She's a healing dog. She heals your soul, and that is true. And for me, that is what Sadie became. She would come to me when she would understand immediately when I was sad or upset or angry or whatever. And she would come and sit next to my leg, close as possible, with her head on my knee. And then she would look at me with those brown eyes and say, okay, you know what? Decompress. It's okay. Work through it. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm not going to leave you. And that made my day so much better. She gave me those extra bit of encouragement, the extra bits that we don't realize they add to our lives, because that is what our furry babies, that's what they do to us. They help us out. They just add extra bits of experience, extra bits of love, extra bits of encouragement. Just those extra bits that you don't realize you need until you lose it. And unfortunately, stuff like that happens. And I was contemplating doing a series about these dogs, my extra bit pack, because they are extra bits of special. And this is what happened with Sadie. And now Sadie had 2 letters, and that's another story, and I know people are going to be upset about it, but I need to tell you this because it is important. So when Sadie came into our lives, we have had just, I think, by design, but also by accident, we got Rotti. This is the dad. And now Rotti, like his name suggests, sounds like he could be a Rottweiler, but he wasn't. He isn't. He's a Labrador, Alsatian, or German Shepherd cross. So we expected him to be quite big. He has huge paws. And my husband went with my daughter because she got 2 puppies and she was going to go and collect them. And then he saw Rotti, and Rotti was still not assigned to any parent. And he just phoned me and said, oh, I'm bringing back a dog for us as well. And that was just before our previous dog, Shiba, that she was at the end of her lifetime here. So we had Rotti, and suddenly we had Sadie, because I love my labs. I'm sorry if people, I love all dogs, but I really like Labradors because they are such gentle souls. But in any case, this is how Sadie and Dorothy became the parents, the matriarch and the patriarch of the Xtrabits pack. They were the start. Um, and I will tell you later about Rotti because if you look carefully, you'll see he's got short legs. He's big dog cross, but he has got short legs. And I only found out later, oh, you get short leg Labradors. But yeah, so this was a twist in the tale. So when COVID hit us, um, we realized there was a lot of stuff that was happening in our lives at that stage. My dad passed away 3 weeks before COVID hit us with that awful lockdown. And it was just at a stage where we realized, okay, you know what, we have not taken them to be spayed and neutered. So we had to separate them when she came into heat. Uh, because lockdown was severe. It was only real emergencies. Like, I mean, I think everyone knew that. We were all locked in our houses here in where we live. It was a severe lockdown. And here's the two lying in that kennel or doghouse. And if you look at those faces, it's, I know we did something. You're going to be surprised effect. When I looked at this photo again, I thought, yeah, you two naughty ones. So Sadie became pregnant, and it was a question of, okay, what do we do now? Well, we go through this, and this is how these little babies were born. But look at them. I mean, she was a mother from the first. She dug herself a hole where it was really safe and very difficult to get to, even though we had a whelping box and a huge dog house built specifically for this in a safe area where they would be okay. And we had the whelping box in the house and stuff like that. And you know what? She decided, nah, I'll make my own. And she had these puppies, and she had 13, but four unfortunately passed away in the first. Well, one was stillborn, and then the others after him got a little bit. I think there were some issues, but in any case, we lost four of them, but we kept nine healthy babies, and they became the start of the Xtrabit pack. And we will, I'll tell you all about them later. The only thing I need to tell you is that three of the pups that we kept for ourselves contracted the parvovirus just after lockdown was a little bit less severe, and we had a garden service came in to just help with the garden, and I think they brought the parvovirus in. And unfortunately, they still needed to get their last injections, those three that you get before. And unfortunately, after a week of struggling and thinking we are winning this case, we lost those three pups, and it was all heartbreaking. And it really costs a lot of money. So we had to wait a little bit more for the regulations to relax more and stuff to take the two dogs for spaying and neutering, and they were at it again, and then we ended up with a new bunch of puppies. And I know people are going to be upset about this, but you know what? We loved those puppies. This was the most amazing experience. And observing how Sadie became a mum instinctively and how she looked after her pups. And she would correct them and she would wean them. And I was angry with her at first. I thought, oh, she's leaving her pups more and more and more. And then I realized, but she's teaching them how to wean, to not, because I mean, think for yourself, with all those teeth, it's a little bit, I know, sore. And so I learned a lot from Sadie. And even in those times, if I was down, or any one of us, she would come and sit next to you and put her head on your lap as if to say, "It's okay, you know what? I'm here." And she would heal you. She would give you those extra bit of love and attention and encouragement to heal yourself. So Sadie was my healing dog. And then she became the mama dog, and she became very protective of her pups. But she allowed us to have access to them without any reservations. My granddaughters could do this. And Sadie became the matriarch. She became this: I am here, I'm protecting my pups, I'm protecting my humans. She would go in at night and she would patrol the perimeter of our yard. We have a huge yard, so my dogs love staying outside. They are outside dogs. We would let them come in and they would lie down for half an hour or so, and then they would get up and go out. And if they can't go out, we have to open their door because they are insistent. But they also love coming into the house. But at night, they want to patrol, and this is what Sadie did. And that makes her even more special because she would. We have cameras, and we would look on the cameras and see, no, Sadie is patrolling the yard. She's literally walking the perimeter, making sure everything is fine. And Sadie would be also, oh well, would be. She was the teacher. She would teach her pups to really pay attention, to walk with her to the perimeter. And it's so interesting to see how many of her characteristics are part of her children, her pups. Because she had that second patch, and I must be honest, maybe I was selfish. I didn't want to take her to be spayed when she already had the pups in busy gestating them, and because I felt that was like killing puppies. Um, I do believe that's not on, but it was also selfish in a way because we lost the three pups that were part of, and they were lovely pups, and I wanted the opportunity to have some of her puppies again. And I'm not upset. I'm not sad that I allowed that. And we looked after Sadie really carefully while she was pregnant and even afterwards. But she absolutely she flew through this whole pregnancy and birth. She was really a 5-star pregnant doggy mom. But then also we got three pups that are so, in a way, diverse in character, but also so quirky and so loving. And I can see the parts of Sadie in them. Because Sadie, for me, was unique. She was this, she could run around. She was still chasing them, playing with them, having zoomies with them. But then she would also say, okay, enough now. And they were very careful not to upset mom. They knew the pecking order in this pack. And it was interesting to see this interaction. And I know people say, no, you mustn't get two siblings from the same litter and stuff like that. You know what? We have four. Well, one Freya survived the parvo. She's my medical dog, and I'll tell you all about her. But we have Freya, and then we have Raven and Brutus and Scrappy, and you will get to know them. All their quirkiness and all their love and all their sadiness, can I say it like that, that I admire and that I enjoy and that I love about them. And it all comes from mum. So yes, this is the pact. Here they are sitting. This is my Xtrabits pack. The only thing that is no longer true is that Sadie, who's sitting in the middle here, is with us. She just, this was horrible, because she was still patrolling at 3 o'clock that morning, going around the perimeter, running, making sure everything is fine. And the next morning at 7 o'clock, she was gone. She was just gone. And we thought about doing an autopsy, but then we decided why she's gone. There was no poison or anything like that involved. There was no signs of that. My son went through all of the footage to make sure, and the vet also said it was most probably natural causes. So, but it was heartbreaking. But yeah, this is Sadie, and what she left us is putting those Xtrabits into our lives. And ladies and gentlemen, it started with a little yellow lab fluff ball that got named in the car because Sadie just fitted the bill. And this is where my Xtrabits pack come in. So please feel free to watch this, to like it, to subscribe, or to share, and enjoy, because this is to be continued.